As you will no doubt know, the Chancellor and Tatton MP George Osborne laid out his fourth budget to the House of Commons today. In a moment we'll hear from our political editor Arif Ansari, who's in Westminster, but first we're going to hear from businesses in Burnley.
Yes, the town prides itself on having a higher percentage of workers employed in manufacturing than Germany, and yet it still has a higher than average jobless rate. Our business correspondent Jayne Barrett has been taking the town's economic temperature.
This is just what the Chancellor needs. No, not a spa break. You might fancy one after today, but investment and jobs. Andrew Brown's just invested £4 million with 50 new staff.
We got regional growth funding to help with this project. It wouldn't have gone ahead without that. But I think the government's still spending more money than it should be spending.
Rachel and Amy have both felt the heat of this recession. One works in construction, a sector massively hit, the other a squeezed public sector.
I appreciate there's got to be cuts, something's got to be done, and I don't know what the solution is.
But the spa's a success because there is new money in this old mill town, especially here in aerospace. This company's just invested £1 million.
This bit of kit cost £500,000 and it makes one of these, which is involved in the reverse thrust on the world's biggest passenger plane, you know, the noisy bit when it comes into land. And they can spend this amount of money, invest it, because this sector, especially in Burnley, is literally flying right now, and the government is backing it.
The government's giving £1 billion to this sector. They say they need it fast. Jobs will follow.
We'd like to think that it will filter down to us. There is some signs that there is some coming out, but we need a lot more.
But jobs are in short supply here. Figures today show unemployment up in the northwest, significantly down in London. The north-south divide is a reality. Michelle Davis has just come from the job centre.
She's got one job that's working Saturdays for only 12 hours, and unless I'm a mechanical engineer, which I'm not, she has nothing at all at the moment to offer me.
So what do you feel George Osborne has to offer you?
Well, nothing, basically.
Well, he's cut the price of a pint by a penny, but how much more to kickstart a flatline economy?
I'm looking for investment in infrastructure, I'm looking for investment in manufacturing, and I'm looking for a manufacturing policy.
There's a belief in this old mill town that this young Chancellor should realise real wealth is made by manufacturing. Jayne Barrett, BBC North West Tonight, Burnley.
Well, our political editor Arif Ansari has spent the day in Westminster Forest monitoring events, and earlier he sent us this report.
And this wasn't just about the economy, it was also about George Osborne's political reputation. So how did he do? I'm joined by two Lancashire MPs, Gordon Marston and Andrew Stevenson. And Mr Stevenson, it was a bad start for the Chancellor in some ways, wasn't it? Because we saw unemployment going up again, and we heard there from Michelle Davis saying that she can't find a job.
Well, it's a difficult economic background for everyone at the moment. Families are struggling. However, unemployment is now lower than it was at the last general election. We've seen 1.25 million jobs created in the private sector. That is good news.
And Mr Marsden, the aerospace company there, T&R Precision Engineering, saying they've already been supported by the government. They're hopeful that the extra aerospace cash is going to lead to more investment and more jobs.
That's great for them, but I can take you to 12 businesses across Blackpool who are flatlining as the economy is flatlining because they can't get the bank loans and because there is no confidence in the government's strategy. This is a Chancellor who's had 3 years to get his austerity project right. It's still not right. It's what I call the leech policy. You think if you keep applying the leeches and taking the blood away from the economy, somehow things will get better, but they won't. And until we get a change of policy, we're going to have more problems and more difficulties.
In the budget today, you've seen every small business across the northwest, across the country, getting £2,000 off their national insurance. That will help them create more jobs, help them get people like in your package into work. And we also, for the first time, have a real industrial strategy now on aerospace, really encouraging billions of pounds going into aerospace.
And also the measures on housing as well.
It's no good if you haven't got confidence in the direction and if the infrastructure investment is still down on what it was.
It's a higher level than it was.
Sorry, Andrew, let me finish. It's still way down on what it was 3 or 4 years ago. They haven't put more money into the economy. The £2.5 billion is a flea bite compared to the £200 billion they've overshot on their
investment. Thank you both very much indeed. So no specific measures today announced for the northwest economy, but nevertheless some pretty profound changes heading our way.
Arif Ansari there reporting for us from Westminster on the budget. Now, we've learned tonight that the